All right, once again, I am honored. I am privileged to be in the presence of greatness, a boss, a mogul, from a true executive in music as well as film and television.
That's right.
I'm loving what he's doing on so many angles, but to sit with the legend here, to drop some gems in Cannon's class, but also to tell us about Tales, the hit show. But we gonna build. This my man.
We can build. Tales season 2, July 2nd. Got a new Kanye West featuring Charlie Wilson record. You know what I'm saying? It's dope.
It's a beautiful thing.
Let's get into other
Let's
things.
get into
You know
it. The one and only.
but let me not sell Tales.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah,
It's
facts. And
Yeah.
we're going to talk about the innovation that you put that together, too, because I love how you put that all together. But I'd be remiss to say, man, you are truly one of the dudes I've always looked up to in the game. Nick. A legend. Irv Gotti, man.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, man.
It's a pleasure, man. Now,
and if I could just for a minute throw it back to you, because after I got into TV, I seen how hard it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to have a brand with Wildin' Out and to be going for your 300th episode,
right.
I'm telling y'all right now, that is a huge accomplishment to keep going and sustaining it and even growing and growing and growing.
Have ownership in it. That's what I keep telling people. Like, from MTV didn't understand the concept when I first created it, so I shot it with my own money myself, and then that gave me the negotiating power for all of these years to be able to move with it however
You know the crazy thing is I own the first season of Tales.
See, exactly.
They took it though.
Hey, as long as they pay you for it.
I got a check.
Yeah, I was about to say,
check.
We both have Viacom. We know how to negotiate.
Yeah.
Like,
I got a check and I got a great deal, but they didn't know either what Tales was, and they kind of just gave me a shot, and I kind of slipped through the legal situations, and I owned it. They was licensing
it from
Tales from me.
Smart.
But once it gone to success, they said, you want season 2, we taking it.
Yeah, and now let's dig into that a little bit, just because, you know, we often hear in music as well as even in any kind of content business, ownership is key. Content is king.
It is.
Explain that to the lame, or in a layman's way.
Yeah. And the easiest way to explain it, I own the first season of Tales, and it's like Viacom legal department did not know that until Tales was garnering success, and they wanted to take Tales and play it overseas. Right. So when they do that, normally with Viacom, they own all of the shows. They could do what they want or whatever.
And they go get their bag doubled up.
They go get their bag doubled up. But when they went to overseas with Tales for the first season, they was like, yo, Gotti owns it. So they had to call me and negotiate the licensing fee for the UK, for Germany, for Africa, or whatever.
Smart business.
And when they did that, they found out that I owned it. Some people got fired.
Yeah.
Right?
I've been on the other side of
some people
those
got
conversations.
Fired. But that's to lend to the ownership. That's some of the things with the ownership. When you own it, you own the rights to it, and no one could use
it's your intellectual property.
Your intellectual property without paying you. Where normal deals is they take the ownership or whatever. You know what, just certain, for quick knowledge, whatever, that intellectual property word, I truly didn't get it until I used to talk to my man Hype Williams.
Yeah.
And he was breaking it down, and he was like, no, because usually you come with an idea, you just get a deal.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, they got to pay for the IP.
Yeah.
Because we own it.
Yeah.
And they got deeper into business.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
That, it took me years. So it's hard. This generation learned faster than us, I feel.
And because music, I felt like the industry always felt like we were, I don't want to say slaves, but we were their property in that sense, to where, as long as we give them a little check up front,
we was happy.
Yeah, we was happy to get them some cars, let them shoot the videos they want, charge it back to them.
Right.
But they were the ones really getting rich.
Right.
Did it take that generation of just, here's a check, now go be happy and dance, to make way for these kids who are actually owning their intellectual property?
I mean, think about it. You go from like Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, even Run DMC. They're getting 14 points.
Right.
Yeah. That was the great deal.
Right.
If you got up to 19 or 20 points, you was doing it, right?
Right.
And then just the revolution happened and the growth happened, and it was like our generations, from the Death Rows, the Bad Boys, the Rockefellers, the Murder Rings, the Wu-Tangs, all of that generation, it was like ownership. So
Right.
we elevated to at least having half of it.
Right.
All of us, a majority of us, had at least 50%, if not like Cash Money, a 90-10 distribution deal where everything was coming to them.
Yeah.
And they really owned it.
Right.
Right. I still own half my masters.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that was our thing. Now this generation, it's like,
They want it all.
yeah.
And then because there's so many different platforms and ways to get your content out there.
Think about it. We needed a studio.
Right.
It wasn't a laptop at my crib that I could record on.
Right.
So we needed if you was broke
Yeah.
and not really doing it, you needed a label.
Right.
Them studios cost money.
Crazy money.
Right. The big studios with the 2-inch reel, you had to get the 2-inch.
$200 an hour. The tape
$200 an
cost
hour, you got to pay the engineer cost. Shit, the 2-inch was a couple $100. Like just the tape to record it on, then you got to get the half-inch to master it on. So that goes. It was all these costs, so you kind of needed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now you fast forward to today.
They can record it and put it out the same night and get it to millions of people.
See what I'm saying? It's like, so it lessened the value of a major label. We don't need you. I'm gonna buy a laptop. I'm gonna get the Pro Tools app or whatever like that. I'm gonna get the plugins. I'm gonna make the beat right there on my computer. I'm gonna get a mic with the little thing right here. I'm gonna record it.
And and you got Old Town Road.
And then I'm going to put it on my SoundCloud and I'm popping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. #1 on Billboard going crazy.
#1 on Billboard going crazy, generating millions of streams because it's so easy to just get it to the platforms.
Yeah.
So it's just a different thing.
The game is definitely different, but I want to take a second to even touch on, just because a lot of people may not know this, people listening, people watching, that in that label system, you was a real executive and a real fixture in the culture during the golden age of everyone from not just Ja Rule and Murder Inc., but from DMX, Jay-Z, all, like Def Jam. You was that dude. How did that come along? I mean, I've heard you talk about it in the past, but how did you really, one, get the A&R position and then even elevate from there up at Def Jam?
God.
Really?
Yeah, and I say God because all of those guys you named, which was 3 monsters in hip-hop, I knew since I was 17. I knew Jay when I was 17 years old. I met Jay, thought he was the best.
Right.
Then I met X when I was 18, thought he was the best. And then I met Ja in like 91.
Wow.
Thought he was the best.
Right.
So that's why I said it was God a little bit with my thing, well, a lot with my thing, that he put these guys in my life.
Right.
So I was rocking with these guys regardless. It wasn't about business. It wasn't about nothing. Those was my brothers.
Right.
That I've known. Like first time I met DMX, I'm in Yonkers. I go to his projects, and I it was like it was yesterday because it was so crazy because the doors was ripped off, the windows was broke, and Yonkers in the projects was different. It was like, you black people are here. This is where y'all stay, and nobody move.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like, in the way, it was like a country type project.
Real segregated.
It was real segregated, and it was bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad. And so I'm there in Park, and X pops his head out of a broken window so he could cut himself. He's like, "What's up, dog? I'll be there in a second." You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." But when I heard X rhyme for the first time and the animation, it was like nothing I've ever heard before.
Wow.
Jay was like the coolest rapper I've ever heard or seen, and he was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like when I met Jay, he was selling drugs.
Wow.
And he was just
a cool cat.
He was just different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of them, they was just different.
And it was because you had already had the job at Def Jam at that point?
I put out Mike Geronimo.
Yeah, I was saying it started with Mike Geronimo, right?
I put out Mike Geronimo, and I was on TVT, which was like, that was my college. I learned everything about the business. I learned the do's and don'ts. I learned about everything. And I was like primed. I was ready.
Right. And you knew you wanted to be an executive. Like that was, you had this, you can run it.
I'm from Hollis, so Russell Simmons had a huge impact in my life of him owning Def Jam. So it was like, oh shit, a nigga from my hood owns a label. I want to own a label.
Right.
It was direct. It was him and really Ruthless.
Got
with
it.
Eazy
Yeah,
E.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
a huge thing, but Russell the most.
Yeah.
Because I from 215, he was from 250. It was 10 blocks.
Yeah.
And I used to see Run DMC driving all the time. It was just
Crazy.
inspirational.
Yeah.
Right? So I always knew I wanted a thing. I knew I had to just work my way up to get it.
Right.
I had to work my way up to get it.
And then once you, because that's the thing, like, a lot of cats don't know that we wouldn't have seen those classic albums like the ones from DMX, Ja Rule, Jay-Z, if it wasn't, I've seen you in action, even from afar, from a kid, of like, you walk into a room and just, yo, you got to do this. You do it like from a radio room to marketing, promotion.
I was rooted to the tutor.
Yeah.
I was the janitor to the chairman of the corporation.
But how did you know to do that? I mean, even for somebody who's trying to figure it out, even now in this game, these projects can't move like they move. You can't have the QCs without the Coach K's and the P's. You can't have even like of all these young artists that we see that are popping off. There's somebody putting that battery in their back that's orchestrating the whole situation.
You know what? I don't. I just was built to do it. It was like no one told me to do this, do that, do this. I just, whatever there was a hole, I plugged it.
What was the biggest mistake that you made in the music industry?
I got a few.
What can we learn from to say, yo, don't?
I should have never tried to sign Nas.
Oh, but I saluted that move.
I know, but
Queens, like
Jay is my brother.
Right. But then he tried to sign him.
That's the ironic thing. But at the time, you got to understand, I made Super Ugly.
Right. Okay.
A week later.
Did he call you and be like, my nigga, what you doing? Like, or were y'all?
Jay is the type of guy that's
But you was such a monster, you didn't really care.
Let me tell you, Jay is the type of guy that's going to let you kill yourself.
Give a nigga enough rope and hang himself.
You let him hang himself. It's like, all
Y'all
right,
just kick away the chair.
You did that. You made, okay, now lie in it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then the reason why, because me and Jay is like a real brotherhood.
Yeah.
I've known him since I was 17 years old. He knows my family. I know his family. You
right.
know what I'm saying? It was a real brotherhood. I did Super Ugly. With my ambition, I let my ambition get the best of me.
But see, or could it have just been the sport of it all? Because at the end of the day, Jay recognized that Nas was one of the greats.
Listen,
it's like
after you talking about the Jay when they patched it up.
We talking about bulletproof vest, Jay.
Let's talk about he wants everyone to know he's the best.
Right.
Because when you look at the Jay and Nas beef, it's no beef.
Right.
It's no real beef.
Just saying I'm the best.
It's just competition, and I'm the best, and people saying that you might be the best, so I'm going to show them that I'm the best.
That's hip-hop.
Okay.
And we loved it.
Yeah, but that competitiveness
got out of hand.
And Ether was a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
like people was like, fuck Jay-Z. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
Right,
like Ether was a motherfucker, and here I am pairing up with the same guy who's trying to finish him.
Right.
So that could have been misunderstood or took in a way like I'm
Super Ugly was fire though.
But in hindsight though, think about it. I never thought, and Jay never thought, that Super Ugly, people was gonna take that record, go on radio and play Ether and Super Ugly.
That wasn't
Super Ugly is a freestyle, dog.
Yeah. Over the West Coast record.
If you want to take two records, play Ether in The Takeover.
Exactly.
And let them decide with that. This was just, I said I was going to shit on you, here I'm going to shit on you.
Yeah.
That was nothing, but we didn't understand. If I'd have known that the whole world was going to compare these two records and put it on radio and ask which one is better,
right,
I would have made a real record.
Yeah.
I'd have made... I would have made a fucking real beat.
And it's Jay, so you know
and say, Jay, let's make a song.
Yeah.
Let's not just freestyle. Let's make a song and get thing. And trust me, me and Hove, we would have made a joint.
Right.
But we just went in the studio with Ether. It was bothering Jay, and he just went in there and we made it.
Right. And then, but again, you've been a part of...
That's one of my regrets, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, you've been a part of a lot of the competition in the game, and you've had the reputation in the same way that Jay has the reputation of like, yo, can't nobody fuck with me. Like, I'm on top. I did that. I did but that, I always say with my own label personally, I was like, yo, I want that Murder Inc. run. That's what I tell all my promo guys. That's what I was like, yo, I want that shit where every song on every format is mine.
It's mine. We was multi formatted. We played urban, rhythmic, and top 40, which made all our records go #1.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, now
I was a radio whore though. That helped.
But you had the relationships.
I was a whore.
People was like, I love when
that's what you know. What radio? When I talk to radio people now, they like, yo, it
ain't like that no more.
Nah, they charging.
They just straight up.
Yeah,
well, radio now is where they play hits. They don't break records at radio no more.
No, but the artists are charging.
Right. Yeah, they can now because they don't need radio.
Free radio show.
Yeah.
Did you see the Wu-Tang doc?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Because I always, and it hit me with the doc.
Okay.
Tracy Clarity, you know Tracy.
Yeah, of course.
She really shut them down. And I didn't understand that until the thing. And I was like, oh, shit, I forgot they wild out at Summer Jam.
Yeah, went crazy. Yeah,
but think about it.
That's when you can...
You heard no Wu-Tang records in New York.
Right. That's crazy.
Like, I started thinking, I was like...
Because there was no 105 at that time.
Cuban Links, I didn't even really hear Cuban Links, and that was a monster album.
Yeah.
Like, Flex wasn't playing it.
Yeah.
And it was all over that.
You can't do that now.
You can't. No, they couldn't have did that back then because they still was successful, but they should have been even bigger.
That's so true. I didn't even think about it like that.
It hit me because, and at the time, they was right because at the time, Hot 97, if you was banging on Hot 97, you had the whole East Coast.
Yep.
But if they not playing your shit, it gave other stations questions not to play your shit.
And it's still like that today, but now because of the Spotifys and
it's too many different ways for your shit to get heard.
Yeah, and then they look like they behind.
Yeah.
So that's what it's a few more of them program directors out there that still want you to kiss the ring.
Yeah, but listen, these new artists, I've had conversations.
They don't even know what a fucking program director is.
No, they disrespect radio stations.
Yeah.
To the point kind of be saying they don't even
want to be on radio.
They don't want Flex to play their record.
Right.
And I'm telling them, nigga, that's all I wanted. I said, Flex bangs my shit, I'm good. I'm out of here.
Over.
These guys, some of them, they be like, we don't want Flex to play art. They don't want them to play it.
Right.
I can't believe it. They don't care about radio.
Nah, it's all, like I said, radio.
I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, SoundCloud. You got to get SoundCloud. We got to move on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's where the kids are. So, I mean, now that we talk, because we dove into it a little bit, I was gonna say those are some of the mistakes. What is, in your opinion, some of your biggest wins in the business?
My biggest wins in the business was the I'm Real record.
Crazy, classic.
But just when you're in the moment, you don't understand. Now I could see
copyright.
Right, I could see. But, you know, the J-Lo I'm Real record was a huge win for me and Murder Inc. because the Sony machine with J-Lo was enormous overseas.
Right.
And it opened us up to overseas, and it made Murder Inc. a worldwide thing. Like a lot of people don't know, like, we were selling 3 to 5 million records here in the States. Right. But we were selling another, like, 2 to 4 million outside the States.
Wow.
We was moving it, and we was touring. We was getting all of that overseas money. So that was I say a big moment for Murder Inc. And if I have to say, is when I got to Def Jam. Right. Because when I got to Def Jam, everything just fell into place. Right. And it was crazy.
You had the golden touch.
No, but it was crazy because Leo was about to get fired.
Right.
So he was in a desperate place. So he's in the combination of Leo being in a desperate place, Def Jam still being Def Jam and having the infrastructure of the best hip-hop label ever. Right? And then me with these new artists that I'm like,
you was the young kid with
yeah. Well, people don't know I quit.
Oh, wow.
Because they wasn't letting me do what I want to do.
So wait, at what year because I need to piece this together. What year did you quit?
They hired me, I believe, in 97.
Right.
Yeah, like 97, January 97. I quit after like 2 months.
Wow. Because you knew you had.
No, they wasn't letting me sign. The very first meeting I had an A&R, so they gave me my pen and pad, and they giving me my duties as an A&R director. And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, yo, y'all finished? That's it? And they was like, yeah. I said, yo, we got to sign DMX. Straight up.
Right.
I said, we got to sign DMX. Very first meeting, they laughed. And that's how I walked out, laughed. They didn't even respect it. They're like, this guy's crazy.
What?
Yeah, they laughed.
So you was like, I'm out.
They didn't even want to hear it at that point. They was like, what? Learn how to do your job. So after, like, they assigned me my artists and everything, and I felt like a DAT collector. Remember DAT tapes?
The DATs.
Yeah, because you go to an artist, if you're an A&R director, and I had Onyx, and Onyx is dope.
Yeah.
So what am I doing with Onyx? I'm collecting the DAT and playing it for the label.
Yeah.
Onyx didn't want nothing from
They didn't need you.
Irv Gotti.
Yeah.
They was here. This is what we doing. And they was making dope shit. So
Yeah.
it was nothing for me to do except this is their new records.
Yeah.
And play the records.
Play the DAT.
Exactly. So I was like, I quit. After like a week, Leo called me and he was like, yo, what are you doing? I said, I ain't fucking with y'all. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, yo, I thought y'all was live, yo. So I say, guys, take my chance in the streets. I go back with Jay and Rockefeller and go in the room, put my time and energy with that. He said, no, please come up. So I come up to the office, and he's like, what do you want? I said, I want to sign DMX. No one's fucking listening to me, yo.
Right.
I said, that's what I want to do. I said, no disrespect to the artist, but that you're not utilizing me the best that you could utilize.
I'm not a DAT collector.
I'm not a DAT collector. I'm a dude that I'm going to help shape and mold shit.
Right.
So he called in Tina Davis and James Jones because they was the senior VPs. Of
Right.
So they was kind of the ones that was holding me back. They was saying, I can't do. And he said, Irv is to report to me or Kevin Lowndes. That's it. Everyone leave him alone.
Wow.
Oh, I smiled. When I walked out of there, Tina Davis was like, if DMX doesn't sell, you're fired. I said, motherfucker, I quit. You understand? I don't want to be here. Yeah. I don't want to be here unless I got me and my crew.
I always
you know
tell people, quitting.
Listen, and
quit before you fired. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, the thing, but that's like, so now I got Leo. He said, so what do you want to do? I said, yo, I want to sign DMX. And that's the legendary thing when I brought him up to Yonkers.
Oh, wow. So you took Leo to Yonkers.
I took Leo, Kev, and Dame. He rode with us up to Yonkers. Everyone was in the studio in Powerhouse Studios, all Ruff Riders, the Locks, Drag On. So, you know.
Swizz, everybody is
so everyone. Swizz is like 16.
Wow.
Right? So everyone, you know, the weed smoke, it's a true hip-hop moment.
Right.
And I got Leo Cohen and his Jewish ass up there. He's the only white man in there, right? So now they start rhyming, and X is just in the corner. And I had already put the full battery. I said, yo, X, kill it. Right. So the Locks is rhyming, and this is hardcore rhymes flying everywhere. And
Right.
Leo is having his poker, but he's loving it. He's loving the whole thing. And then X rhymed, and his jaw was shut because he had just robbed somebody, and he had to get an ass whipping.
Wow.
So his jaws was wide shut.
Wide
So
shut.
I don't walk a stalk, living fast like pork, shutting down underground streets of New York. As a nigga call me because they yo, and he just started going. Funny as shit, because Leo is keeping his poker face. And he's like this. He's not showing any emotion. He's just going like this. So I'm looking at Leo. I'm like, oh God, yeah. Like I'm trying to sell it. So boom, we go out after we thing, and he lets the poker face off.
Oh.
We have the pick of the litter. Do you do it? He goes crazy.
Right.
He goes crazy. Kevin Lowndes. Crazy. And if I must tell the truth,
Yeah.
Dame was hating.
Wow. I can see that.
Because no, but listen.
Because he got his artist.
Listen, Dame was hating.
Because there was beef before this between
it was
X
battle rap
and Jay. Yeah.
But he was like, in his mind, he was like, what Jay, and he's Jay. But I got mad.
Right.
Because I was like, dog, you didn't have to ride in the car with us.
Yeah.
Leo had like
you
this big
up my
green
money.
Suburban. I'm like,
Yeah.
this isn't Rockefeller. You didn't have to come.
Right.
I wanted you to come because I'm thinking you're
You
my
my
brother.
man. You
You're
gonna co-sign for
endorse
me.
it.
Right.
He sees Leo. The pick up the legend going crazy. So he starts saying, yo, nobody wants to be like that. They want to be like us and Rockefeller and Jay.
Wow.
And they want to be like the good life. This nigga's depressing. This
Wow.
nigga's this. Yeah. And I got livid and I turned. I was like, yo, dog, stop.
Right.
And I was like, and then I had to defend X.
Right.
And convince Leo, because I'm like, I don't know if he's listening, but Leo wasn't listening to it.
Yeah, he wasn't listening to that.
He seen the hate a mile away, right? And what he was doing. But I said simply what calmed it down. I said, all right. I said, Dame, listen, let's go in the hood, right?
Right.
Any hood you would say, how many J's and how many X's?
Brilliant.
It was over, right?
So you can't argue
you
that.
go to any hood, there's 1 or 2 J's.
There's 1 or 2 J's, and everybody like
that. There's 1,000. Like when
trying
X,
to get it,
when
hungry.
X said it and Get At Me Dog, I told him, I said, that's it. That's gonna get him, because I have an I and we theory.
Yeah.
Most rappers is I, me,
And
me.
if you say
which
we,
is J.
Yeah.
Niggas like Pac or
It's we.
They embody
Right.
and they speak.
That's
for those
brilliant.
who can't speak.
Yeah.
So when X said, there's at least 1,000 of us like me mobbing the street. When we starve and we eat. I'm like, that's it. You did it. And he was looking at it. I said, nigga, you did it.
Right.
You did it. If you looked at X's first album cover, the artwork, there's a picture. He's holding like a bat. And I told everybody from the hood, the kids, everybody, yo, just get around him. Because I said, yo, and when he took, it was a Polaroid that made it. And when he took the Polaroid, I showed it to X, and I was like, this is who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
You see all of them that no one gives a fuck about? They ain't got a fucking pot to piss in.
You they voice.
And he looked at me and it was like,
it was over.
Nigga, he got it.
So was he always DMX? Was that his name, Dark Man X? That was all. That's when you met him. He was like that. So and you touching on something that's an integral part of classic hip hop, the competition at Def Jam.
It was crazy.
When you have, cause what, Rockefeller had their own thing originally at Priority, right?
Yeah, that was just a one-off.
For Reasonable Doubt.
That was a one-off. That Reasonable Doubt, and then it was free.
And then the whole Ruff Rider X movement.
Listen, DTP. The crazy thing with DTP is when Ludacris came to town, and it's so funny, and he could speak to this. Yeah. He was like, Def Jam was so crazy. I'm at 2 million, but I'm like the stepchild.
That's crazy.
And it was. You know what? I was like, a regular artist couldn't be at Def Jam at that point. You had to be a star. Nice. You had to be nice. And we was dropping albums every year. Yeah. So it was no room to breathe. JX and Ja's bang.
I was gonna say and then Ja and y'all had Murder Inc. just so.
My other finest moment is Rule 336. That's what I was gonna end with. Yeah. Because Rule 336, you have to understand. I'm a part of Rockefeller. Right. I'm a part of Ruff Riders. Jay is the illest, coolest guy. Like he has that lane sewn up. Yeah. Then X is the grimy street.
Got the gangster street nigga sewed up.
Sewn up.
Right.
So we come out with Vinny Vedovici, which was a hard album.
Right.
Right. We did 2 million, 3 million worldwide, but we fighting for a space, and it was like people was comparing. Ja to X.
Yeah, the voices.
We started them, then X is, and the
nigga trying to beat me, man.
Listen, truth be told, you rhyme, right?
Yeah.
X don't like you. This is what I tell every rapper. I'm like, yo.
But that's
that's X.
Yeah.
That's X.
Right.
You rap, he don't like you.
Yeah.
I seen Ron Artest's a thing on Showtime, his documentary, and he said he's mental like X.
Yeah.
He said he hates everybody who plays basketball. He said, "Yo, I don't like him. He hates him."
Right.
But I said, "That's DMX. Anyone who rhyme, he in his inner rapper.
That's that he competitive. Don't like you. That's the battle, dude.
That's the battle. He don't like you. And this is my mic. This is my mic. It's my mic.
I do this the best.
I'm the best. Right. So the thing with why Rule 336 is my shining moment, because that's when the murdering sound was created. So here's a guy in me. All of these guys is my brothers. I helped Rockefeller and Jay. I helped DMX and Ruff Riders. And now I have my own situation.
Right.
And the guys who I helped create to help become the biggest stars in the world are now in front of me.
Right. Yeah.
They're blocking me.
Wow.
So here comes every little thing that we do. Between me and you.
Fire.
So after I make that record, I'm like, man, X will never make that record.
Right.
Jay
he would never. Yeah, he wouldn't make that joint either.
Then we just was in that mode.
That
It
pocket.
was feeling good in that pocket. I'm telling you, it was a special thing. We did the album in L.A. We moved out here.
Yeah.
Rented a house in the hills, and we was on a different vibe.
Right.
And that sound was created.
Yep.
We got introduced to ecstasy.
Talk it.
So those records was made
real talk
high on ecstasy, but we was living that moment in that life.
Living it up.
Here's the thing. Living It Up was made for 336.
Wow, but y'all held it.
We couldn't get it cleared.
The Stevie Wonder sample.
But we knew that record, right? With Case, everything, and it just felt right. So that was the first. As soon as we got it cleared, after Rule blew up, we got it cleared. First single off of Pain Is Love. You know what I'm saying? But but that's why 336 is so dear to me, because, you know, when we did Put It On Me, we was like, X will never make Where Would I Be Without You. We was consciously thinking about J and X and not being them.
Wow.
That's when Rule had the braids.
Right. Because
I'm not gonna be
do the ball head.
That's X and that J and everything. So these braids is gonna
set me apart.
Put It On Me. His shit's crazy. Half braided the Method Man shit. Like that. But yo, that's not X.
Right.
That's not J. And we purposely, and it pushed our levels of creativity, and we responded.
Wow. So if those three dudes was in the room right now, what would they say? Or could they be in the room with each other?
Yeah. They seen each other and everything like that. But that's why I wanted that album.
Yeah.
The Murder Inc. album where they was a group.
Right.
That's why I wanted that album.
Talk about that for a minute too. Even the concept of the Murder Inc. was originally supposed to be those dudes. That's where the name Murder Inc. came from. It's going to be kind of like the firm.
Well, I always wanted the label Murder Inc.
Right.
But I said, we'll name the group, them as a group, Murder Inc. too.
Right.
Contract Hitmen.
Right.
It was all about that A&E special I seen. It was Gangsta Week, Albert Anastasia, and the Notorious Murder Incorporated. They put Murder Inc. and riddled it with bullets.
Right.
And it was Contract Hitmen. And I thought it was like the most genius shit.
They make hits.
I want to put out and make hits. I want to be a contract hitman.
Right.
So that's what I wanted. But that album, it would have been the best hip hop album.
It would have been crazy, especially at that time.
I'm gonna explain why. I won't just say a thing and just think. I'll explain why.
Right.
Because those three guys would have been trying to kill each other on every record.
Every record. Yeah.
So on every record, you're getting their best, most electric verses.
Right.
All three of them. All three of them is gonna be like, I'm gonna get this nigga. I'm gonna get this nigga. I'm gonna get this nigga. And they would have all been trying to outdo each other, which would have made for an album that hip-hop has never heard or thing.
Right. Now, that'd been classic. Now, I always wanted to ask you this question because I struggle with this myself. Being somebody who's also, you know, I had the job at Def Jam. I was there, L.A. hired me, and I was moving stuff around, trying to just be that dude in the back, married to Mariah. So, like, let me fall back, let her be the star, you know what I mean? Let me go get my business on. But there was something in me that I feel like, or that I yearned for, that you probably were content in, of being the dude in the back, being the boss, not taking the shine, not like Suge said, dancing in all the videos. I want that.
Right.
So sometimes I do want to shine just as much as my artist, or the artist in me wants to be like, I'll make the record myself. But a true boss can say, you know what, I'm going to let my artist do this. What advice do you have to anyone, me specifically, to like, yo, how do you just maintain just being a boss, being an executive, and not getting in the way?
Well, this sounds crazy or whatever, but I've heard it from other people. I've heard it from Dr. Dre, and he says similar things. I become the artist, right? So when you're an executive, to be a great, and this is my opinion or whatever, but to be a truly great thing, like I can become Jay-Z.
Right.
I could become DMX. Like you see how Ramon Wonga stuff. Like I know I know him so well. I know his mannerisms. I know everything. I could become Ja Rule.
Right.
And so when I do that, I am so perfectly suited to make a track.
Right.
To make a video and a visual and think of something, because I am that artist.
Right.
And when you have that, and you become like that with the artist, that's when the special shit is gonna get made.
But see, like, I think Puff has that as well, but Puff will show you that. Puff will be
Puff is a different breed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He'll get out there and dance with you.
No, Puff is a different breed, but to me, Puff is a genius. He's dancing and he's doing that because that's what's needed.
Right.
Because that's
Big
what's
wasn't
needed.
gonna dance, so he's gonna be the
I'm
one.
gonna fill that void.
Right.
So there was a void. Big is gonna be this, and you know, I'm gonna be like then, like Public Enemy, Flavor Flav was just as important as Chuck D.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it could just been him and giving the visual, and it was like, whoa, it was just larger than life.
Right.
So Puff, I think it's not that he wanted to dance and be in the videos or whatever, or
he had to fill the void.
He was doing what he felt was the right thing to do to stimulate the people and get them to rock with his artists. And he did it to perfection.
And there's very few music men in our generation and in music history in general that can actually master that. Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, Diddy, like these are guys that are true music men that had the ears, had the relationships at radio and all of that type, and moved the pieces on the chessboard around to create classic stuff. Can that happen today? Are there guys out there that are able to do that today?
Wow, not many.
Yeah,
it's just different time.
Like there's no great music men anymore. I mean, Khaled's been doing his thing, you know, but
it's not. It's different, man.
Yeah, it's those guys that can kind of ring the bell and make the whole industry wake up.
I'm gonna tell you the shit. We was making albums.
Right. Hey, they don't make those no more.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a singles driven thing. So you got great producers.
Well,
but
Barry Gordy, they was making singles. They wasn't really focused on albums back then.
Barry Gordy, you're gonna put Barry.
But I'm just saying, going back to that concept before it was the album, it was about the hit records and the jukebox.
Yeah, but Barry Gordy, come on, man.
Oh, he's the greatest music man.
Look how many artists done ran through and he touched.
Yeah, he's the greatest music man. But we don't have so the chances that there being another Irv,
they out there,
Quincy, Barry, that's not ever gonna happen again.
No, it could. And you can never say never with music because things change and things. All that needs to happen right now, and I say it and I put it in the universe to say it, but all that really needs to happen right now is a young rapper, 23 or under.
Right.
And he's, I don't walk a stalk.
Yeah.
Dirty nigga going up raw dog and dirty bitches. If I get burnt, I'm giving that shit to dirty bitches over maybe a new style thing, but he's spitting gutter, right?
Yeah.
And now
classic could come back.
And he makes an album that the whole album is dark and hell is hot or Reasonable Doubt. Then the paradigm changes.
It changed and everybody want an album again.
With music, it's as simple as that. Right. One artist could come and flip the whole thing over.
Well, you say Drake is definitely a music man. He rapped for a decade.
No, Drake is the one artist where people like his whole albums.
Yeah.
So he's an anomaly.
Right.
Like he's like sort of like Jay in the sense of you can't really explain him.
Yeah, right.
It's like when I'm talking about music,
I'm not talking
about Drake. Drake. Yeah. I'm not talking about. I do that with artists. Yeah. I ain't talking about Jay. Jay's about to be 50 years old, and he's probably can still put out a song or a verse and serve niggas.
Yeah, facts.
And probably will do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, so when we talking artists, I am not talking about Hov. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, Drake is like that. Like, he's just different.
Right.
Drake could drop Hotline Bling. He ain't got to rap, and he could drop a song that's going to serve the world. So he's a thing. It's going to have to be a new, like say 1920 from a hood.
Yeah.
And he's just spitting flames, and he drops an album.
Yeah.
And he just says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do things different."
Right.
Fuck a single. After he gets hot with a single, I'm coming with an album.
Right.
And niggas is riding around
to the whole thing.
The whole album. You hearing the album cuts.
Yeah.
And shit. I remember when we dropped this Dark and Hell is Hot. I was like, I called Leo. I said, yo, something is happening.
Right.
Because the day that we dropped it, and I just drove around literally all day, every borough.
Playing.
I just was driving with the windows down and listening and seeing it from my head. And God damn it, I heard it.
And niggas was buying, that's when cats would buy 2 and 3 copies.
2 and 3 copies.
Of one.
I heard it.
One for the house, one for the car.
Yo, Nick, I heard it.
That's a special moment.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I called Leo like, yo, and this nigga, he was like, we're shipping platinum. And we used to do this thing that once an album, and we only, DMX got signed for like $300,000, like nothing.
Right.
He shipped platinum, and he used to always be, after the marketing, spending all the money, he'd be like, if we get to 520,000, we got it back, and then we're printing money.
Right.
And I'll be like, yo, let me know when we printed money.
Right.
He called me with X so early. It was like the second week. He was, we're printing money. We're printing money. And listen, now mind you, he's screaming at me, we're printing money.
Right.
After like the second week, and X is doing like 150,000 units a week.
Wow.
So just so the mindset, he's making $1 million every week.
Every week.
1 to 2 million is shipped in.
Wow.
He was going crazy because he was about to get fired.
Right.
Alon Levy, y'all can look this up. Alon Levy and Roger Ames ran Polygram Records.
Right.
Once Def Jam hit a deficit of like 25 million, Leo Cohen and Russell Simmons could get fired and they could take the company from them.
Wow.
Now, if Leo tries to dispute this, I have some what they call it, receipts.
The receipts.
Okay, and there was a XXL magazine, right?
Yeah.
And Leo was like, they're going to take my company. He was like, he says, you cut me, I bleed, Def Jam. He used to tell me, I told my mother this is the logo, and this when you see it. He was distraught.
Right.
So we in the car, we're going to Foxy Brown's video shoot because Foxy Brown is not showing up. Tells Leo, I want 50,000.
I heard this story.
I want 50,000
to show it to my own video.
So Leo was bringing the bag. He
had to pay it. Why not? I respect that.
We in the car and he's talking to me about this situation because they are like days away, or he's like, I could get the call at any time and I'm done.
Right.
Me, I'm ignorant. I'm like, yo, we got Jax and Ja. We're good.
Yeah.
You're fucking ignorant. You don't understand. And I didn't.
Yeah.
Really. I was just like, yo, we got the niggas. Trust me.
You're right.
And I'm just on my promotional tip for them.
Yeah.
Right? So now, we're driving in the thing. He flips open his phone. He flips open his fucking phone. I got it. I got it. I'm like, fuck you got? We're going to call the new label 333526.
Like, what?
When you look at your phone, 3 is DEF.
Gotcha.
526 is the first letters. 526, Jam.
Oh.
He says we're going to the point where if you look at the archives
Right.
and look up XXL,
Right.
DMX's Dark and Hell is Hot album, there was no logo of Def Jam. It was Ruff Riders and 333526.
Wow.
In the print ads,
Yeah.
no Def Jam, 333526. And he says we're going to take DMX and Ja. He says we can't take Jay because we signed a joint venture. They gave him too much money. But he said with X and Ja got signed for like $300,000. It was a cheap deal.
Yeah, yeah.
He says we can take them. I will say we have to have them.
Wow. So
Yeah.
he was planning the exit strategy.
Yeah, and then look at what happened. This lucky son of a bitch, he's printing money.
Right.
Jay drops Hard Knock Life. I Do Can I Get It. Hard Knock Life sells like 7-8 million. X comes with It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I need another album. That's why we put out another album because Leo was greedy.
Day, yeah, to this day, there's nobody who's put out hit records that quick.
May and December,
That's
the albums
crazy.
came because he had to get out of his deficit.
Wow.
So those and Rush Hour Hour did 4 million, and those 4 records got him in the black.
Save Def Jam.
Right, but then what did we do next year? More albums. Then Ja came and thing. And if you look, every year it was albums from these guys. So he was doing in billing just with those 3 guys, probably like 120 to 150 million in billing. We're printing money. We're printing money. I was getting that call like every 6 months.
That's crazy.
X's next album, he gave him a little bit more money than the first album, but it wasn't no blockbuster shit.
Right.
X did that album with Swiss and me in like 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
He puts out Flesh in My Flesh. We ship like 2 million. He sells 780,000 the first week. SoundScan. But we ship like 2.
Damn.
Yeah. And then here comes Edgar Brofman. The Universal Music Group gets formed. He's the hottest motherfucker in the world on the East.
Right.
Jimmy's the hottest motherfucker on the West. Doug Morris is the boss of all bosses.
Yep.
Roger Ames, Alon Levy, the people that was going to fire him, get fired. And
Wow.
Leo becomes the boss of bosses. That's why, when Dame or other people, they said, you did so much for them because it was all my work.
Yeah. That's facts.
Yeah,
You say Leo owes you.
Leo, he owes me. But it's business. But I'm like, yo, it's business, man.
That's a good. Now you bring up a good point when you talk about everything being business and all of the successes. We talking about the wins, but in business, there's always downs, and to have to experience your downs in the public. Like
niggas ain't have my downs.
Your downs was different. Your downs had the feds.
Niggas ain't have my downs. When I'm around Diddy, I'm like, yeah, you had a little charge, but Shine took it.
Yeah.
It's a little thing, but they had downs that was like Jay with the
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I be like, y'all niggas had downs that made your rap sound better.
Right.
Stamped you and validated your whole existence that you ain't having it and you them niggas.
Yeah.
I said my down was completely different.
How did you deal with it? I mean, as we know, from everything from personal to safety to the law, like all of this stuff like was hitting you guys while you're on top and you became a target. How did you maintain just your strength as a king? Like that's all I always tell people.
That was a tough time, man.
Really? Was that your most trying time?
Now I'm walking around and people's listen, if the feds isn't enough, I got the hottest rapper in the world saying fuck me.
Right.
On a world tour.
Right.
Wait a minute. On a world tour with Jay-Z.
Wow.
Saying fuck me. And I can't.
Now, did Jay master plan that?
I can't say nothing to Jay.
Right.
I fucked with Nas.
Yeah, so Jay's a genius.
I see remember the Reebok commercial
with 50
So
and Jay.
now my enemy is rocking with my brother.
Wow.
And I can't say nothing.
Wow.
How I could describe it was like niggas was just taking a turn picking up like horse shit.
Right.
And it's like my hands was tied and I just had to take it and I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't say nothing.
And this is what's interesting to me. They often talk about art imitating life.
And I'm fighting for my life.
Yeah, I was about to say.
20 years.
They say art in imitating life. Your company's called Murder Inc.
Yeah.
Which
I had to explain in court why Jay-Z gave me the nickname Irv Gotti and Murder Incorporated was from a A&E special on Gangster Week, and I'm a contract hitman because that's great to be in the music business. Right.
So, but now you are really in this life. You're really on federal investigation lists, and they got the famous video of you coming out cuffed. And so, did you ever think that art would put you in a position where you had to fear for your life and the safety of the empire you built? No.
And I had people telling me, if we go back a little bit further.
Because
let me go back a little bit further.
That's shit, though.
Yeah, let me go back a little bit further. When you come from where I come from, which is the hood or whatever, and you mastermind some things and you start getting this money at a high level, we all go through it. It's a feeling of invincibility. Everyone, we all go through it like we can't be touched.
Right.
I've had people who was, has friends in the FBI that came to me and said, yo, you're being watched. The feds is watching you. My reply, they're going to see me get a lot of pussy and make a lot of money. Tell them suck my dick.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm with one of the most notorious drug dealers in the history of Queens.
Right.
But I'm not doing nothing wrong, so I'm
so you like, whatever.
Yeah, but even though you ain't doing nothing wrong,
that Rico shit is real.
You are in concert. That's your man, and there's things that's gonna come when your man is of that level.
Right.
And he wasn't just my man; he was my brother. Knew my whole family.
Right.
The whole joint.
And you're gonna remain solid because that's what we do when we come up together like that.
I mean, I don't even know about the other way.
Yeah.
I can't.
So that takes us
I can't even understand.
Yeah, so that takes us to a bigger conversation and who we are as men. And I often talk about being solid and how this system is designed to tear us down and not make us solid.
Well, I'll tell you with the feds, and I can speak on this through experience, they really don't know nothing. My case is a clear example. They just drummed up some money laundering things on me, and they knew nothing. They was trying to use text messages and stuff like that. They knew nothing.
So all the movie stuff is real. It's like, yeah, we heard about this and we got this.
No,
and they don't have
you
shit.
know why they know something? Because people talk.
Tell.
If everyone just shut up and said what? No, and shut up, they wouldn't know nothing.
Right.
they would probably figure out a new way to arrest you or something. But
Right.
I'm telling y'all, they don't really know anything.
The feds don't know anything.
And everything that they know is hearsay bullshit. So they need a snitch to take that stand and corroborate that story. Because
Right.
everything they have, even if a snitch or someone is talking to them, if they're not going to take the stand, that's why in these worlds you got CIs and CWs. A CI is a confidential informant who they're walking the earth right now.
And we have no idea.
The
It could
cameraman right
it could
there
be him.
could be a fucking CI. Right? Yeah. Now you got CIs and then you got CWs. The CWs is the dangerous ones because they're taking a stand.
Right.
Yeah, but
Witnesses.
they're witnesses. They're confidential witnesses that's going to take the stand. But even if someone tells the government or tells the feds something, if they don't have a snitch that's going to be a CW, they have nothing.
Right.
They have nothing. So when you look at my case, if you look at it, they raided my offices January 3rd, 2003. I didn't go to court till 2006.
Wow.
For 2.5 years, it took them damn near 3 years to bring me to court. They was building the case.
Building the case.
But the reason why they did that, because I was printing so much money and making so much money, and Def Jam was about to give me like 60-something million dollars, because I was doing like 120 million in billing a year.
Wow.
Right, and I have a joint venture.
Right.
So they had to pay me.
Right.
So right when we're in the middle of negotiating my check, they raid me. And they raid me because they sent a letter after the raid saying, if you give Irving Lorenzo $1 Universal Music Group, you're going to be his co-defendants.
Wow. They could do that?
They sent
They
them,
did it.
They did it. They sent them a letter to which Jay was the president.
Oh.
Hove was the president. They sent Hove was the one like that kind of told me like, yo, we can't do nothing with you. Because legally we can't enter into a new agreement with you. So forget about a $60 million deal. You can't even produce a record like outside of your company.
That's dirty.
Yeah, but that's how they play.
So I'll go back to this bigger conversation. Is the conspiracy real that the powers that be don't want to see a successful black man in America?
Well, here, I'll give you this. I think Jay-Z, real talk, with him being so known as being a drug dealer, he's like the one that got away. And goddamn did he get away. He's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire.
He's untouchable now.
Right.
And is a billionaire.
Right.
So when you look at after Jay-Z, and
They didn't want to let nobody else through the door.
I think even Jay touched on it. Like he got out just in time.
Right.
Or whatever. They was trying to build a case.
Right.
So I think Jay-Z is so important in the dynamic of these guys that are drug dealers, and then they now flipping it, and now they becoming successful rap moguls.
Great businessmen.
Right. That's why I think you get the hurry up and arrest the Tekashi 6ix9ine because
you don't want to see
in
that
a second,
succeed.
when he gets one more Nicki Minaj record, he may be untouchable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he may flip the whole script and
Right.
be thinking, grab him now.
Right.
And I think you see a lot more of that all they need is an inkling of a case, and let's get them off the streets, get them to cop pleas, put that pressure on them.
It's interesting because I actually had a conversation with Snoop and Suge and a bunch of cats about this concept, and with you having Murder Inc. and being Irv Gotti. We all glorified American mafia for so long. It's been generations. We made movies from the Al Capone, the Scarfaces, the Goodfellas. And pretty much the mafia had things on lock through the Teamsters, casinos, and I often say this, I challenge people to look it up, but today hip-hop has generated more attention and more money than the mafia could ever do. So the thing that you were trying to emulate to get yourself high, the world's now trying to emulate what you've done.
We do.
So hip-hop is the new mafia.
Ain't that something?
There's only a few bosses, a few families. We've lost lives over certain things.
Listen, watch, I'll break it down. It's very parallel because, they was doing dirt. They was just, gambling,
moving things around, protecting people.
Wait a minute, bootlegging and everything, which was prohibition.
Yeah.
And then what did they do? Then they
flipped it,
made Las Vegas.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And now a lot of them, they flipped it and became legitimate people, which is all what hip hop has provided for us. The reason why I love hip hop to the core is because not only did it provide money for us niggas from the hood, right? But it changed our mindset. Meaning, if I was 20 years old if nigga was selling drugs, and I'm like, nigga, what's your plan though? What's your plan? He like, this.
Right. I'm getting
nigga,
this.
what you talking about? This is my plan. Nigga,
Right.
I'm getting it. And they had no plan. After hip hop, it became, I'm gonna get a record label.
Yeah, I'm gonna start a clothing line.
But it wasn't, I'm gonna do this forever.
Right.
You was a dumbass if you thinking you're gonna do this forever. When
Right.
you got Jay-Z's a billionaire. He used to do what you do, and look at him.
Right.
So it was like we have too many people to look at and see that they did something. And now look at him. This dude is one of the most influential people in the world.
On the planet.
Exactly. So now it changed the mindsets of people, which I think is the greatest thing ever. Niggas ain't fucking talking about, I'm gonna sell drugs for the rest of my life.
Right.
I'm gonna sell drugs, get this 10 million. Once I get to 10, I'm gone. I'm doing this, and this.
Yeah. And hey, with that,
But the government,
they don't
to
want-
go back to that, they know that.
Right.
So they like, man, we gotta catch these niggas.
Right.
Before they make that transition, which is BMF.
Right. And then
BMF
we
was
know
one
that story.
Blue Da Vinci album from coming out and going #1.
Right. And then they would have been.
And I'm gonna tell you the real. Meech was my man.
Yeah.
So I would go out with Meech, partying. I've never seen niggas spend money like this.
Crazy.
And this is me. And I've been around niggas with money,
Yeah.
drug dealers. No one
Not
was
like BMF.
Not like BMF. These niggas would spend $500,000 at the bar. They throw $100,000 at the strippers. It was like they would have a big ass.
I remember
duffel
them
bag.
times in Atlanta,
Listen, a big
boy.
ass duffel bag full of money. So I had told Meech,
Yeah.
yo, you spending all this money, yo, just put out an album, any it doesn't matter, thing. And I
Right.
told them, because they was hustling in like 20 cities.
Right.
They had America on lock.
Nah, trust me, I know.
But if you hustling in 20 cities and I'm watching you niggas blow 200,000 a night or whatever like that, I said, yo, just buy them. Take $2 million and buy
Buy the
200,000.
records. Right.
Now, what would happen if BMF, The World is BMF by Blue Da Vinci or whatever the album would have been called? What if that album would have came out with no radio play, no video play, and it sells 250,000? It's the #1 record in the world. You know what happens after that? MTV, BET line up to be like, yo, give me any video. They're popping.
Right.
Because they had the
Phones
streets and
ringing.
everyone knew about
Right.
them. So I was like, you just put a record album out. Fuck airplay, fuck everything, and buy them.
Wow.
That money you throwing and buying all these cars, take $2 million,
That's great
put it
advice.
to the side, and then I said, yo, go to the record stores and say, yo, I want to buy 20,000 copies or 10,000. And when they look at you like you crazy, hand them the bag.
Right.
Hand them the bag, and they're gonna like, yo, he just bought, order 20,000.
Right.
You just paid for them.
There it is.
And then you could give out the CDs
And
or
give
whatever.
them away for free in the
Give them
club.
away for free. But nigga, you're popping.
Yeah.
No, that's like the NWA. No airplay, no video play, no promotions, and they're the #1 record in the country. They moved 250,000.
Right.
They're gold. They ship gold or whatever like that.
Yeah, right.
Now with all of that energy, nigga, you ain't gotta buy
control
shit
it.
no more.
That's a hell of a plan.
They got, it's the crazy
They got to
thing.
him too fast, though.
They got arrested shortly after that.
Wow.
And I always would say, I was like, in that, because it was like 30 niggas.
Right.
We was at the Swiss Hotel
Right.
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's the shit across the street from the
From the-
Linux.
yeah.
It's called something else now, the Westin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was at the Swiss Hotel in the suite, and niggas was all in there smoking, getting high. And I always said, someone heard me talking to Meech.
And it got to him.
Nah, because Meech I love Meech.
Yeah.
He was such a leader.
Right.
And he was like, yo, everybody, because he was like, you a fucking genius, guy.
Yeah.
He immediately got it, and he basically was like, yo, come around, this nigga's a genius. And he had me, like, saying what I was doing, and I always felt like I shouldn't have did that when he did that.
Yeah, because they was
Because
listening.
one of them niggas was a CW or a CI.
Yeah, and they knew what he was
And
about
they probably
to do.
was like, yo,
He about to wash this money clean.
he's about to be Hove.
Yeah, right.
He's about to be squeaky clean and
Right.
untouchable.
Right.
And all that money they got buried is gonna be good money.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And shortly after that, they picked him up, him and Tone. I was cool with Tone too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like me and my brother Chris was cool with Tone and Meech.
Yeah.
It was funny because they was exact opposite.
Opposite. Yeah, we gonna see. Yeah. So even in touching on these things, man, you dropping so many gems. I would say, I I question this. I have different philosophies. I love the fact that you have your own philosophies and never want to, just go with the status quo of what society believes. The importance of your own tribe, your own community, what we call a family, being a leader, being someone where is there having a queen by your side important? Is having kids? What is it all about at the end of the day when it comes to
everything I do and everything I'm built off is the foundation is my mother and father, same mother and father, and I'm the youngest of 8.
Right.
When you hear me talking, I use a lot of family references. That's my brother.
Right.
So everything I'm about is family. Everything that I do is for my family. I wouldn't be shit unless my father got laid off.
Wow.
Me and my dad was mad close. I used to take him, he worked for this cab management company, right?
Right.
Bullshit job, but that was his job, and that's what he did to feed his 8 kids. So one day, he gets laid off for having a drink of beer. Now, he didn't get laid off for having a drink of beer. He was like a year away from getting his pension. So they did him dirty.
Yeah.
And here it is. He's home, and it's just me, him, and my mother. And he was being real. Like, I have no education. I'm close to 60 years old. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, straight up.
Right.
I don't know. She was being the comforting mother and supportive, like, we'll figure it out. It was like the violin is playing in the movie. It's sad.
Right.
And I was an idiot that wasn't applying himself just like everyone else.
Right.
But after that day, I said, yo, your fucking mother and father need you. What the fuck are you prepared to do? And I was a savage and have been a savage ever since.
Ever since.
So everything that I do and everything I'm about is family. Now, when it comes to a woman, I've been divorced.
So have I.
Divorce is hell. See, wait. It may not have been hell for you. She
It
has a lot of paper.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, it's still.
Talking about
when the government gets involved with both y'all paper,
what
crazy.
you know about a marriage is that it's a business when you get a divorce.
It's a contract.
It's a fucking contract. Fuck all that love and when y'all was drunk. Yo, I love you so much. Nigga, it's a contract.
And whoever got the most powerful lawyers, they're going to go head to head and spend all your money fighting.
Listen, we was in the room, something similar
just
to
like
this.
Just
like something.
You on this side of the table.
Yes, you've been there.
And they be like, don't say shit.
Wait.
Let us talk.
Look at this. Sonny, did you hear this? Hold on. Let me give you my story. I got to give you my story. Because Deb, if you know my ex-wife, she's not short on words. Right. So she enters the room, right? The female who's never, shut you bitch ass, right? She enters the room and the lawyer goes, her lawyer, I've instructed my client to not say anything.
What?
This is my face. What? Deb sits down. And it's like a fucking statue. And proceeds to let her lawyer, who I'm paying, talk about forensic accountants. Wow. And they're going to go inside Murder Inc. and see every dollar because my client deserves half. Right? This is real shit. So now I'm sitting there and she's going in deeper. She's talking about publishing. She's talking about, the publishing company you might have started early on. We want that too.
Wow.
She's talking about every single thing. And I couldn't take it no more.
Wow.
And I said, and I lost it.
They instructed you not to talk.
No, my lawyer didn't instruct me not to talk. Fuck you. Fuck my lawyer. Fuck you. And I lost it.
Wow.
I got up. I said, I threatened the lawyer. I said, bitch, call everyone was a bitch. I said, bitch, you don't fucking know me. You ain't gonna get $1. I'll die before I give you $1. And I said, Deb, you motherfucker. I said, if you don't fucking stand up right motherfucking now. And I said, I'm a cheating bastard. Guilty as fucking charged. But as far as me taking care of you, this bitch ain't gonna make me take care of you. I'm gonna fucking take care of you.
Facts.
Right? And I'm like, if you don't fucking get up. And Deb, thank the good Lord, she broke.
Wow.
And she said, she got up and she was crying. And she said, he's good. Don't do this. I don't want you to do this to him.
Wow.
So they must have had their talks with the lawyer saying, just be quiet. when you see me pull out the big broomstick, I'm not gonna put Vaseline on
going
it.
all
And
the
I'm
way
going all the way in. And it may be rough, but don't say nothing. And Deb, she broke down and she said, "Don't do this to him. He's good. And it was like, it ain't good. And she still got a hell of a deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
She still got a hell of a deal. But even now, like, hey, my bid is up when JJ turns 21.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But unlike other characters,
but
or
you
whatever,
take care of your kids.
Listen, like other characters who I'm not gonna name who's celebrating. I told Deb, as long as I got it, you got it.
Yeah.
Like if I've got $100 million, go get you in a crib, go get it. I'm gonna buy it.
Facts.
Yeah, that's how we get down.
And that's how real kings operate. And even a similar situation with myself and Mariah, it was years. It was like literally years. We paying high priced lawyers for years, and they trying to keep us from talking. We talking every day, and I'm like, what are we paying them for? Let's figure this out.
You're paying them because each one wants to fucking
get richer and put their kids through college.
Yeah, and the longer it goes on, they keep sending that invoice.
Yeah,
that invoice don't stop.
They had us fighting over visitation. We was seeing the kids every day. I'm like, let's just keep doing what we doing. Why we gotta have
lawyers
paperwork?
are in it? The lawyers in it because they getting paid.
They getting paid. So once we figured that out, we told the lawyers to kick rocks.
So giving you that story, like, that's why I don't really
subscribe to the system.
I'll have girlfriends. I've had girlfriends, but the minute listen, the minute,
right there with
minute, the second I see crazy, it immediately something triggers in my brain that says, I'm gonna get a divorce from her. It's good now.
I don't even know what marriage
we're
is
fucking
anymore.
Each other's brains out now, but in 5 years when that dies down, she's gonna be crazy.
What makes a nigga who has it all want to tie themselves down to one woman?
Well, I would. I actually want. I'm serious because.
What is that?
I
would never do it again.
I'm all fucked out. I fucked a lot, Nick, and I would rather, you know what I'm saying, have a friend, a companion.
But you can still have that.
I hear what you're saying.
I got a lot of friends, and we don't even got to be fucking. Like, I'm gonna know you when I'm 60. We gonna kick it. We gonna go to the movies.
I got that, but
what is it? Is it in our nature?
I would want somebody with me though.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe kings can operate as kings and queens can operate as queens. We've seen it over through indigenous and native culture. We see it in Africa.
Polygamy.
I'm not. I don't even want to go there though. Like, I don't need to have. Like, I'm just saying.
That's a hell of a mind fuck to say to a chick. I see where you're going. Yeah. It probably works.
We ain't gonna give up all the game.
Listen, I see your play. It's a very intriguing play.
That's on the next Cannon's class. We gonna get into it, but man,
that's my man D-Ray.
Yeah, see, D-Ray is on some other shit. See, like I don't need to like tote you around. My ego is fed. I don't need to show people that I got this many girls. I ain't got to talk about it. We ain't got to be. If I'm your provider, I provide for you. Don't nobody got to. Whatever it is, long as we good. We good.
That's why I be saying sometimes I be like, yo, I'm really a catch. Because if you with me, you gonna sleep the best you ever slept. You know why? I'm good.
Right.
That nigga handles everything.
Right.
I'm good. I could wake up. I could go work out. I could pursue a career. He'll help. Basically, anything that's in my brain, he's going to make it better.
I can provide for.
He's going to make it better. But there's something, it's like, I be telling people after, it's either I'm going to be on an island with 5 chicks like that.
Right.
Right, with 5 chicks.
Which a lot of the cats have done, and they just do it on the low. But like the older mafia
like
dudes, the older dudes that they are somewhere chilling.
If I find one great one, I'll be happy.
Really?
Yeah, I would be.
Hey, man, well, I hope and wish.
Look at this nigga.
I wish the best for you.
We're like, hey, man.
If that's what you
good
want.
luck. But see, then I go into the thing is like, I think it may never happen or never get there because I'm looking for something like perfection.
Right.
And I'm not going to find it. And it's
Iggy Azalea just told me I'm passive aggressive, that I put all my expectations on women, and that's why I'll never figure it out because I want this perfect woman that's not out there.
Probably right. And again, divorced.
Broken. We seen it. We sat at the table.
We've been in that room.
We don't want to get back in that room.
I'm not going in that room
ever again.
Yeah, and I'll tell a bitch that. I'm not going in that room again.
I'm with you.
And honestly, if I do get married again, it's going to be a prenup. We're gonna take care of business. Or
From the jump.
From the jump.
I think I had one, but that didn't even really matter. You know what I mean? It was more like
you needed the Massey prenup.
You
ever seen Intolerable Cruelty?
Right.
I love that movie. After I got divorced, I appreciate it.
More.
You needed the Massey prenup.
Exactly.
He says, honey, you're exposed.
Exactly. Yo, man, we could talk for hours. You dropped so many gems. We got to do this again.
Yo, I've never knew until this interview we are very alike. Because you were saying shit and I was saying shit at the same time.
Man, but again, we didn't get into the education and all of that, but this is what
come back.
Yeah, this is what this platform is for, man, to inspire, to drop gems, and you definitely did that. Man.
July 2nd. Tales. It's great. We didn't talk about it a lot because we was enjoying having our conversation. But please,
we
everyone,
coming back.
BET is also on MTV.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have a great relationship with Bob Backish.
Shout out to Bob Backish.
Right.
That's our guy.
Right, that's our guy. I have a great relationship with Bob, so he enabled me
to move around on all the platforms.
But what I did, this is why I got to thank Kanye as well, because when I got Kanye, yo. If I get Kanye, you got to do something different, something special. And Bob was the one that says, yo, we'll simulcast it, BET, MTV. And then he was like, we'll put it across the world on all the Viacom networks.
Yep.
And that made it super duper special.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And he did that. And it was funny because Chris McCarthy.
My God.
Yeah, your guy, right. Chris McCarthy, I never met him in person.
Yeah.
So he called me. Because Bob called him and said, yo, you got to put Tales on MTV, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, what are you doing calling for Tales, right?
Right.
And he was like, Irv is my guy. So then Chris called me and he emailed me. He says, yo, Bob loves you.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's like my guy and I appreciate him and everything. Yeah.
Nah, and they just bought the Pluto TV. So if you one of those new kids who ain't really sitting watching the TVs no more, pull it up on your phone and watch everything. Tales,
pay like
wilding
$400.
out, and it's fire. To me, that's the new wave. It's TV on your phone. You download it for free.
It's for this generation.
All of our shows are on there.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to see, man, I couldn't catch it at the crib, it's right there on your phone.
Just got to get the app.
Yeah, there it is, and it's free.
And it's
you
free.
Download the app for free.
Yeah,
there it is. We done plugging.
How did they do that though?
I have no idea.
They must do commercials.
Yeah. Well, when you watch
he paid $400 million.
Yeah, and it's commercials on the app, like
so it's commercials on the app.
And when you watch it, they go to. It's like TV, so it goes to commercial.
That's
but
how
it's
they
not
getting
as
that
long.
money. Yeah, that's how they getting their money.
All of that's dope. We done plugging. Thanks for coming.
Yo, I want to come back. We
Absolutely.
finished the conversation.
Cannon's class, baby. Irv Gotti.
All right.